Pitcher. Standing 60 feet 6 inches from home plate, this guy controls everything. The position's numbered 1 on your scorecard, but they're really number 1 in importance too. Every single play starts with them. They're the only player who touches the ball on every play when they're on the field. The average MLB fastball now sits at 94 miles per hour, up nearly 4 miles per hour from just 20 years ago. Pitchers today are bigger, stronger, and throw harder than ever before. Starting pitchers need stamina. They're expected to go 5 to 7 innings, facing batters multiple times through the order. Garrett Cole threw 209 innings in 2023 while striking out 222 batters. That's the workload of a true ace. They need at least 3 reliable pitches, typically a fastball, a breaking ball, and a changeup to keep hitters guessing. 2-pitch guys rarely survive as starters because hitters figure them out the second and third time through the order. Then there's relievers. These guys are the sprinters of the pitching world. They come in, throw gas for 15 to 20 pitches, and they're done. Edwin Diaz hits 101 miles per hour regularly and pairs it with a slider that moves like it's possessed. His career 14.7 strikeouts per 9 innings is absurd. Relievers often survive on just 2 pitches because they're only facing each hitter once. Closers are the elite relievers, the guys who get the final 3 outs. The pressure's different in the 9th. Mariano Rivera built a Hall of Fame career on basically 1 pitch, a cutter that everyone knew was coming but still couldn't hit. He saved 652 games with an ERA of 2.21. That's what makes him the greatest closer ever. What makes pitching weird is the specialization. You've got lefty specialists who might face just 1 batter. Guys like Jesse Orosco made careers out of getting left-handed hitters out. Then there's setup men, long relievers, and openers. Pitchers who start the game but only throw an inning or 2. The role has evolved dramatically. The physical toll is brutal too. Tommy John surgery, where they replace the ulnar collateral ligament in a pitcher's elbow, has become almost a rite of passage. Nearly a third of active MLB pitchers have had it. The human arm isn't designed to throw 95+ miles per hour repeatedly, but that's exactly what we ask these guys to do. Catcher. They're number 2 on the scorecard but might have the toughest job on the field. Imagine squatting for 3 hours while 95-mile-per-hour fastballs and 85-mile-per-hour breaking balls come at you. Now add in 230-pound runners sliding into you at full speed. That's catching. The physical demands are insane. Yadier Molina caught over 18,000 innings in his career. That's like squatting down and standing up about 270,000 times, all while wearing 15 to 20 pounds of gear in the summer heat. No wonder catchers rarely play more than 120 to 130 games a season. But the physical part isn't even the most important. Catchers are the field generals. They call the pitches, position the defense, and know every hitter's weakness. JT Realmuto doesn't just hit 270 with 20 homers. He manages an entire pitching staff. He knows which pitcher needs a confidence boost and which one needs tough love. The defensive metrics have evolved too. Pitch framing, the art of making a ball look like a strike, has become a science. Jeff Mathis played 17 seasons hitting just .194 because his framing was so valuable. Teams estimated he saved 20 to 30 runs per season just by the way he caught the ball. That's how important the position is. Blocking pitches in the dirt, throwing out runners, fielding bunts. Catchers need to do it all, and they need to do it while getting beaten up daily. Salvador Perez took a foul tip to the mask, got concussed, and still finished the inning. That's the mentality catchers need. They call the catcher's equipment the tools of ignorance because who in their right mind would sign up for this job? But the best catchers, the Benches, Rodriguez's, and Molinas, they're the backbone of championship teams. First base, position number 3. This is where you hide your worst fielder with the best bat, right? Not exactly. While first base has the reputation as the easiest defensive position, there's more to it than meets the eye. First basemen are typically the biggest guys on the field. Pete Alonso, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Freddie Freeman, these are power hitters first and foremost. In 2023, first basemen averaged 24 home runs per season, the highest of any position. They're run producers, cleanup hitters, the guys who drive in over 100 RBIs. But defensively, they're underrated. A good first baseman saves countless errors by digging throws out of the dirt. Anthony Rizzo saved his infielders at least 15 errors per season with his scooping ability. Keith Hernandez revolutionized the position defensively, showing that first basemen could be gold glovers too. The position requires surprising athleticism. You're involved in almost every infield play. You need to hold runners on, cover the bag, field bunts, and make the occasional diving stop. Albert Pujols wasn't just a hitter. In his prime, he was an elite defender who made everyone around him better. The physical profile has changed too. In the 80s and 90s, first basemen were often just big sluggers. Cecil Fielder, Mo Vaughn, guys built like NFL linemen. linemen. Today's first basemen are more athletic. Paul Goldschmidt steals bases and plays Gold Glove defense while still hitting 30-plus homers. What makes first base unique is that it's often the final stop in a player's career journey. Catchers who can't catch anymore, third basemen who lose a step, outfielders with bad knees, they all end up at first eventually. Miguel Cabrera was a third baseman before moving to first as he aged. It's baseball's version of a retirement home for still productive bats. Second base. Number 4 on your scorecard. Historically, this was where you put the small guy who couldn't throw hard enough to play shortstop. At 5 feet 8 inches, Jose Altuve fits that old-school mold physically, but his 35 homer power doesn't. The position has evolved. Second basemen used to be slap hitters, guys who hit 280 with no power. Now they're offensive forces. Marcus Semien hit 48 homers in 2021, a record for the position. Jazz Chisholm brings power and speed. The days of the light-hitting second baseman are over. Defensively, it's all about the double play. The pivot at second is baseball's quickest bang-bang play. The second baseman catches the ball, avoids the sliding runner, and fires to first, all in about a second. DJ LeMahieu can do this with his eyes closed. His footwork around the bag is like a ballet dancer's. Range matters too. Second basemen need to cover ground up the middle and into right field. They're responsible for shallow pop-ups, being the cutoff man, and covering first on bunts to the right side. It's a position that requires constant movement and awareness. The physical toll is unique. Second basemen take more hits from sliding runners than anyone else. Chase Utley's career was shortened by the collisions he endured turning double plays. Now the Utley rule protects them somewhat, but it's still a dangerous spot. What's fascinating about second base is how it's become a premium offensive position. Jeff Kent changed the game with his power hitting from second. Now it's normal to expect 20-plus homers from the position. The little guy in the lineup is now often one of the most dangerous hitters. Shortstop, position number 6. And there's a reason it's out of numerical order. It's the most demanding defensive position on the field. If you can play shortstop, you can play anywhere. The physical requirements are extreme. You need range to both sides, a strong arm, quick hands, and the ability to throw accurately while moving in any direction. Carlos Correa makes plays deep in the hole that most athletes couldn't dream of making. He can plant and throw 90-plus miles per hour across his body with pinpoint accuracy. Shortstops cover more ground than any other infielder. They're the captain of the infield, taking charge on pop-ups and coordinating the defense. Francisco Lindor isn't just making plays, he's positioning everyone else before the pitch is even thrown. The position has transformed offensively. Shortstops used to be glove-first players who hit ninth. Now they're often the best athletes and hitters on the team. Fernando Tatis Jr. combines 40 homer power with elite speed and defensive ability that was unheard of 30 years ago. The arm strength requirement separates shortstops from second basemen. Corey Seager can go deep in the hole and still throw out a runner by 2 steps. That's why shortstops can move to any position, but not everyone can play short. What makes shortstop special is that it's still the glamour position. Kids grow up wanting to play shortstop. Derek Jeter made it cool. The combination of defensive wizardry and offensive production makes it baseball's most complete position. It's where you put your best all-around athlete. Third base. The hot corner, position number 5. If you want to know why it's called the hot corner, stand 90 feet from a major leaguer pulling a 110-mile-per-hour line drive your way. You have about 0.4 seconds to react. That's third base. The position requires courage above all else. Brooks Robinson, the greatest defensive third baseman ever, had incredible reflexes, but also the fearlessness to stand in front of missiles. Nolan Arenado makes barehanded plays on slow rollers look routine, but there's nothing routine about them. Third basemen need the strongest infield arms. Manny Machado can throw 95-plus miles per hour across the diamond from his knees. The throw from deep behind the bag is the longest infield throw in baseball, and it has to be accurate. Offensively, third base has become a power position. Chris Bryant, Josh Donaldson, and Rafael Devers are run producers first, defenders second. The position averaged 28 home runs per player in 2023, second only to first baseman. The physical profile is unique. Third basemen are usually bigger and stronger than middle infielders, but more agile than first basemen. They're the linebackers of baseball. Matt Chapman is built like an NFL strong safety but moves like a cat. What's interesting about third base is how it's often a destination for failed shortstops. Alex Rodriguez moved from short to third when he joined the Yankees. The thinking is simple. If you can handle shortstop's range requirements, you can handle third's reaction requirements. The reverse move rarely happens. Left field. Position number 7. Historically, this is where teams hide their worst defensive outfielder. The old saying goes, he plays left field like he's afraid of the wall. There's some truth to that. Left fielders typically have the weakest arms among outfielders. They cover the least ground, but they often make up for it with their bats. Ted Williams, Barry Bonds, and Manny Ramirez, three of the greatest hitters ever, all played left field. The offensive expectations are high. Left fielders averaged 22 home runs in 2023. They're expected to drive in runs and hit for power. Kyle Schwarber isn't out there for his glove. He's there to hit 40-plus bombs. Defensively, left field requires good reads and routes. The ball slices differently off right-handed batters' bats, creating a unique challenge. Andrew Benintendi won a Gold Glove, not because of his arm or speed, but because of his jumps and routes to the ball. Fenway Park's Green Monster changes everything for left fielders in Boston. Playing the carom off the wall is an art form. Carl Yastrzemski mastered it over 23 seasons. The wall-turns line drives into singles and creates a completely different defensive approach. What makes left field interesting is that it's often a player's third or fourth position in their career. Bryce Harper started as a catcher, moved to right field, and will likely end up in left as he ages. It's rarely someone's primary position from day one. Center field, position number 8. This is where you put your best outfielder, period. It's the quarterback of the outfield, covering the most ground and taking charge on any ball they can reach. The physical requirements are demanding. Elite speed is non-negotiable. Byron Buxton can cover 100 feet in under 4 seconds to track down balls that would drop for doubles against most teams. Mike Trout combines that speed with the instincts to always take the perfect route. Center fielders need to cover both gaps. They're responsible for the deepest part of the park. A great center fielder might save 20 to 30 runs per season just with their range. Kevin Kiermaier made a career out of taking hits away with spectacular catches. Offensively, center fielders have evolved. They used to be speedy leadoff types with little power. Now they're five-tool players. Ronald Acuna Jr. hit 41 homers and stole 73 bases in 2023. That combination of power and speed makes modern center fielders unique. The position takes a physical toll. All that running, diving, and crashing into walls adds up. Ken Griffey Jr.'s second half of his career was hampered by injuries from his all-out defensive style. The position ages players quickly. What makes center field special is the combination of defensive responsibility and offensive production. It's where you find the most complete players in baseball. Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, and now Mike Trout. These aren't just great center fielders, they're among the greatest players ever, period. Right field. Position number 9, the traditional home of the strongest arm in the outfield. The throw from right to third base is the longest in baseball, and right fielders need to make it on a line. Roberto Clemente had a cannon. He could throw out runners at third from the warning track. Ichiro Suzuki could hit 95 miles per hour on throws home. That arm strength requirement is what separates right field from left. Offensively, right fielders are typically power hitters. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, these are middle-of-the-order bats who drive in runs. The position averaged 25 home runs in 2023, making it one of the most productive spots in the lineup. Defensively, right field has its challenges. The ball slices away from right fielders off left-handed bats, creating difficult reads. During day games, the sun often shines directly into the player's eyes in right, adding another obstacle. Jason Hayward won Gold Gloves not just with his arm, but with his ability to handle these challenges. Right field requires more athleticism than many realize. Betts moved from second base to right field and became even more valuable. His combination of speed, arm, and instincts made him an elite defender at a position many view as less important. What makes right field unique is that it's often where you find the most well-rounded offensive players. They need power, but also the athleticism to play solid defense. It's a position that rewards the complete player more than it gets credit for. Designated hitter. Not on the field, but impossible to ignore in today's game. The DH has been in the American League since 1973, but only became universal in both leagues in 2022. It's changed baseball forever. The DH extends careers. David Ortiz played until he was 40 because he didn't have to field. He hit 315 with 38 homers in his final season. Without the DH, he might have retired years earlier. It's created a new type of specialist. Nelson Cruz has made over $150 million in his career, primarily as a designated hitter. He's hit 464 home runs, despite rarely wearing a glove. The position allows pure hitters to focus solely on their offensive craft. The strategy around the DH has evolved. Some teams use it as a rotating rest spot for regular position players. Others dedicate the spot to one slugger. The Astros won the 2022 World Series with Yordan Alvarez as a full-time DH who hit .306 with 37 homers. The DH has changed how pitchers approach the game too. There's no more pitching around the 8th hole to get to the pitcher. Every spot in the lineup is dangerous now. That's raised scoring and changed how managers handle their pitching staffs. What makes the DH position controversial is the philosophical debate it creates. Purists hate it because it removes strategy and the double switch. Fans of offense love it because it replaces an automatic out with a potential home run. It's baseball's longest-running argument.